Welcome back to another episode of Happy Questing. I'm Andrew, and today I'm joined by two special guests. Friend of the podcast, Marquis, member of The Upside, hasn't been featured yet on an episode, but finally we got you on here.
Finally.
And Ben, coming in hot from the CCQ out in Las Vegas, making top 8. So we've got so much to talk about today, gentlemen. Happy to have you both on here. Want to say a few words to get started? Marquis?
I'm so happy to be on. I mean, as you know, I watched the podcast before I joined the team, and I was always just tuned in, so it's nice to be on the other side of this.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here too. I mean, Marquis, it's great to see you as well, but I was hoping to see Brand as well because, like, I want to talk about the Diablo reveal. I talked to him about I showed him on April 1st, so yeah.
And Brandon had to be busy with life things, as per usual, these days with us. But gentlemen, I'm glad you're here. So let's jump right into things and talk about Lorcana because a lot's been happening. So Ben, I want to turn to you first because you just, as I mentioned at the top here, came off hot from Las Vegas, making top 8 at the CCQ. Pretty competitive field, it sounds like. Our other team member Luke also played in the tournament. Didn't do so well this time around, but Ben, you were there to really make a run for the tournament. So just tell us overall, what were your thoughts about the CCQ this past weekend?
Well, I will say for the Las Vegas CCQ, because I wasn't sure like a month ago that I wanted to go. I kind of had the idea to go for it, to honestly, like during the team meeting we had last month, where Brandon's like, oh, who's going to Las Vegas CCQ? And I was like, do I want to travel, make another long trip? But then the sea kept growing. I was like, okay, it's the last core constructed chance that I have for qualifying for Continentals, and I started to feel good with my green blue list I had. So I decided, you know what, Luke might be going, so we're both gonna go out too. And like during before I said I would say that it's like I was kind of like with green blue, but once people started figuring it out and got a lot of help, and I started to get really dialed in. So I felt like really confident going before the CCQ. And when we get to convention, which was sick, by the way, like Danny, who's the convention was sick. It was like basically retro GameCon on steroids.
Yeah, because this wasn't just Lorcana. This was what was the name of the event?
Level Up Expo.
Level Up Expo. And then on top of that, there's a CCQ happening. So
yeah. They had like all different games. Like they have Riftbound, Cookie Run. I mean, I know a lot of like the Upside players have a Cookie Run phase in a sense too. But also like Lorcana, Ravensburger had like a big booth there, big presence. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, they had CCQ. So I guess we'll just talk about the tournament, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a long weekend of playing Lorcana, and you made a pretty decent run there. So, walk us through maybe kind of first day one. What was that like? The Swiss stage, how'd that go for you? What were your feelings going into that day? How it turned out?
Yeah. So let's actually go back like during the week too, because like
prep for it.
Yeah. Because I felt like pretty good for every matchup except for dogs. So I spent all week like practicing with dogs. Like, okay, this is my worst matchup. Let's see if I have to like if I could figure out a way to win this game on the draw. So I was preparing a lot for that. And then we get to Friday too. So Luke, who was with me, we're talking about how many people are going to be in the CCQ. So I was like looking at the past times event page, seeing there was like 319 people or something, 320 like seats remaining. So in my mind, I thought it was gonna be 5. I thought it was gonna be like 512 minus whatever 320. So I thought there'd be like 170, 180 people. But then the morning of the CCQ, we get the Ravensburger Play Hub, and there's only 76 people signed up. I was like, whoa, this is actually like it's actually a really good opportunity, because like most of these CCQs like that have been played, like we went to Baltimore and there was like 200 people.
Yep, 200
like,
plus.
200 plus, and like most of CCQs have been like 150, 70 plus. So like 76 like people, like that's, I felt like, okay, this is actually like, I mean, it might be more like tougher with like if there's like a really good concentrated people, like really good players there, but like it's still like it's less people that go through. And then for the day, it went to 70 because people had to drop out and that stuff. And and then at the when the tournament started, it went down to 70. I was like, okay, wow, this could be my chance. So it was 7 rounds too, and kind of keep it like short and sweet, I guess. Like the matchup spread I had was like probably the most optimal like matchup spread I could get. I kept practicing for dogs. I faced no dogs.
Nice.
I faced no dogs at all. It was Amber Am the first 2 rounds. Third was Blurple. Round 4 was Purple Steel, my only loss in Swiss. Round 5 was Blue Steel, and 6 was Blurple. So, like, pretty much an optimal spread. I will say, like, the Blurple matchups, some of them were, like, down to the wire. Or, like, I had to, like, claw my way back. So, round 3, her name was Kristen, and she played really, really well. And basically, she was floating lethal. So, I think I just had, like, I think it's Moana and Pris Phillip on the board. And I think I went through 2 visions. I think I sang You're Welcome To or something like that. I don't think I dig through 12 and 14 cards to find the last missing piece. That was just being scary to clinch the game. So what I did, it was just like the biggest relief of all damn time.
I'm not surprised to hear this from you, Ben, because I've personally been witness to the threat of, let me just find exactly what cards I need by comboing off of let's visions into You're Welcome, my own character. Nutty stuff, Ben.
Disclaimer, this Angel's a little bit salty from our matchup. Yeah, deservedly.
So day 1, a much smaller pool, which I think makes sense in retrospect because this was just a busy weekend of Lorcana. We had the Brazil's DC or DLC. There was the CCQ in Europe, right? Stockholm, I think, was this past weekend too. So there's a lot of Lorcana happening around the world. But despite maybe a smaller pool, it was still probably a pretty sweaty room, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you were tested, every step of the way there.
I had to beat a former continental player in round 6, so and he made it tough. So.
Yeah.
So there was some good competition, I'll say. So, and great games. So
okay, so at the end of day 1, you're making it to day 2, the top cut. This isn't your first time making top cut at a big event, right? But it is a CCQ. So, maybe the pressure's on a little bit more because you're thinking, this is my chance to actually qualify for Continentals. So let's walk us through what was, that like into your day 2 matches.
Well, I think I was unsure what matchup I had to, so there was some anxiety trying to figure out I only know 1 through 4, but I don't know seeds 5 through 7. So I'm like, I'm playing 6. I have no clue what's going on too. So there was a little anxious for this, and honestly, I didn't sleep well that night too. I only had 4 hours of sleep because. One, we went to the casino afterward.
Okay, well, you don't bury the lead there. You went to the casino, which led to the...
Well, I kind of was helping. Yeah, it was more like trying to help Luke. Luke was going to play some roulette, but just support him and get some dinner. But we got back to the hotel at early time, but I didn't get much sleep probably because of the adrenaline too. So I think I just went for a walk for 30 minutes and went to a coffee shop. And it was helpful because I was talking to people saying which was great. I appreciate all the people that said good luck, and that was a really good part. Just having support at least of people wishing you do well. So that was really, really nice from people too. And talked to Josh Adams too about just some stuff too. But just going try and clear my head, just feeling pumped, feeling relaxed too. So but there were some nerves, but I didn't feel I felt good because I felt actually confident. Because all the prep I did and honestly, the way that Swiss went for me, I was feeling really good in a sense. So before, so I got my matchup. I knew about my matchup. I think 45 minutes before. It was Blue Steel again, so I was feeling really, really confident too. So we did have to wait a little bit because of people trying to get to the convention, but we start pretty much on time, and so. I was feeling okay, this is an opportunity for me. So it's I feel really good about this matchup too. But I think when I looked at his list and I saw my hands, because he was playing Angel too. So in my mind, I was kind of playing how I won round 4. I was trying to get the Clarabelle shift. I wish I play like Steel Songs that like prioritize like Donald Duck and the Prince Philip shift more, because like that just ends the live shenanigans and that stuff too. But I played it kind of like I do against like Blurple, I guess, and I couldn't really get the optimal hands. And weirdly, Tipo was kind of like a detriment to me at times, because in both games I lost 2-0, both games on the play, and I think I inked Ink Geyser both times, which is like actually an important tool. I think just the run of cards, like after I kept drawing to, didn't really work out, and also like a decision each game I did. I think I wish I could kind of like done different. So game 1, I played Develop, and I pulled a Moana and a Malicious. So I had no Malicious in my hand, but Moana's a 1-of. Mm-hmm. So like, I'm like, Moana's actually a really good card in this matchup, because I had Cindy on board too, and it could actually help me like not use the resources of my hand to go my Inkwell. So I pulled a Moana, but then I just couldn't find another Malicious in time. So like that's like one decision. That's actually probably should not run 1-ofs, I guess, in a sense. But like Moana is such a good card that like in my mind it's really good to like build up the Inkwell, I guess, because I had much resource in my hand, so I think that's detriment too. I think also game 2, I think I might have been a little triggered too, but I think I inked a Darn Silver when I probably shouldn't have, and that would probably help me like get to 1 turn later. But I think the way the like kind of like my draws and like my cards work out, it wasn't like optimal, I guess.
Well, and especially the way you describe like you're playing it as if you're playing into something more akin to Blurple, but the deck was more like a Steel Song deck, changes those player lines, as you said, of what cards you're hoping for. So the whole just like I'm thinking cogs in the machine here, just it's not spinning right for you, unfortunately, in this set of scenarios, Ben. But what I love about what you're saying here is a lot of this also came down to like choices that you're thinking like, you know what, if I made a different choice there, especially around like my inking, which is what makes I think Lorcana such a fun and interesting game, is that there's a lot of strategy involved with not only just like what you want in your hand, but what you're going to put in your inkwell, because you might regret later, oh, I wish I didn't put that Ink Geyser because I need that right now. And that was a choice that happens, back several turns perhaps, when that occurs. So
yeah, that's honestly where like I wish, like it's weirdly like you still hit your curve, but you wish you had Sail in that sense, because like just to keep your resources too, because on the play like having one less resource actually makes a pretty big difference in a sense. So, but I want to give a shout out to like my top 8 point VJ. He's actually a really good dude. So like he was really, really nice. He actually played pretty good as well with what he had too. So he definitely played a more cleaner game than I did. I'll say that. So yeah.
And was his list like pretty different than the other Sapphire Steel list that you played? I know obviously the Angel was an addition to it, but other things happening there?
From like round 4, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I don't remember Angel coming down. But yeah, I think is nothing too different, because they were running Scuttle too as well.
Okay.
So I think it was pretty similar. I don't know about Angels too. I don't know about Jasmine as well, but Jazz was also like really key too, because like he used my opponent used Jazz effectively to sing songs and then to draw when needed too, because like that's a big body in a sense, a 2/5. He played really well too. I'll say that. I would give him credit for that. So, but yeah, just like it was like a mix of like decisions I wish to take back in like the cards. So like I was really happy how well that this weekend went too. But damn, this is like Continentals. Like that's kind of like a goal of mine as a player. Like I really felt like there was like a really good chance for me to do it too. So like there was some like, I guess what's the right word to say, like I guess like sadness, I guess, like in terms of like just like okay, like it's done again. Now it's on to the next one too. But like I felt like it was a really good chance for me too. And just like it just didn't work out, unfortunately.
I think that it speaks just you being able to analyze that game against Blue Steel and talk about like the micro decisions you made, whether it was like taking a Moana from Visions or like Ink and the John Silver or like the Ink guys off of Tipo, it really speaks to like the caliber of a player you are, because a lot of people would chalk up a loss like that as, oh, I got unlucky, which, you know, there's some truth to that as well. You can't control what comes off of the top of your deck, but it's like it takes a really good player to be able to recognize some game-changing moments that might be as simple as, oh yeah, just ink the uninkable in my hand with Tipo, and realize like maybe that would have impacted the rest of the game. So I think that just with that mindset and being able to analyze losses like that, you'll find yourself in a situation again, and this time you'll probably get through.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, just be sure it's not a habit instead of like, instead of like a learning experience too.
Yeah,
I think
being able to learn from those type of situations, because if you just say, "Oh, I got unlucky," then like, there's nothing to learn. There's no notes there. It's just like, okay, I got to get lucky next time. But you have like actionable decisions that you can take to like matchups moving.
And Green Blue is actually a deck where like you still have to be careful like decisions. Like, it's probably the first time like I ran a more consistent deck, because like usually like I run a deck that's more toolboxy. Like, I ran Marzinal's Best at tabletop, and I took that out because I realized how important like having uninkables card out, because I'm actually probably one of the Green Blue players that run like 11, 12 is technically not high, but like it's higher than most Green Blue lists. So like I'll give credit to Fungus for that. So like he helped me out with that. And he told me Marzinal's Best is not really great in this current meta. So yeah, and it's important just to have the ink to basically just to make sure you get to like your optimal list. Say like for Steel Song, like play a Donald like turn forward and make sure you get the draw resources to get the combos off. So but you have to like I think you have to be humble this damn game. Like I feel like I've done pretty well in this game, but like I'm always trying to be learning too.
For sure.
Yeah, so but overall, I think for myself, it was a pretty good weekend too. So, and pretty good weekend also at the casino too. So that was pretty.
Again, the bearing the lead. He was in Vegas and goes to spend the night in the casino. I don't want to blame the casino on the results on Sunday for you, Ben. But
I'll give another mention too. So I mentioned Luke was here too, and he not only had a rough go at the tournament, he had a rough go at the casino too.
Oh no!
No, it's funny. It's so like Friday we both went to casino. I won like one big hand in poker, but he had a little rough time in roulette. And then Saturday, like he did pretty bad. He did pretty bad in the tournament and didn't do well in roulette. Of course, I did well. But then Sunday he did pretty well in roulette, and then for me, I lost my top 8 and lost like $20 in poker. So it's kind of funny. We couldn't match up our
your luck needed to be flipped, you know.
Exactly.
Each other's luck.
It was kind of ironic how like we couldn't both like be good the same day. So.
Okay, duly noted. No more going to events where there's gambling that happens simultaneously. All of our luck and energy must be focused on the game of Lorcana.
Well, he lives in Turning Stone, so that's kind of
yeah. It's tough for us. We do have the casino en route to several places. Yes, great buffet.
Well, yeah, no, we went to Caesar. They had some pretty good food too. So
very cool.
But yeah, no, Vegas was cool. So I think of that too. So after the tournament too, so Ravensburger had a booth, and what I ended up doing, so they did something called Illumineer's Quest.
Oh, yeah.
So what they do is it's $18, so you get free packs. So you did it for Arcadia, Whispers, and Winter Spell. So you get free packs of both, and they give you like a list of 4 cards you have to get, and then if you get all 4, you present to the Ravensburger booth, and you get like a stamp and a free promo. So there's a Stitch Ball High Bonus promo. The 2-cost one from this set, and it's like what, $30 right now. So I got the kick of just doing that, just try and get the cards. But for some reason, they also put rares as well.
Oh wow!
So like it's funny because like it was cool because like you had people also interacting too. Like, hey, I need this card, or like I need this card. Do you have that? So you have complete strangers like working together to help everybody just get the cards that they. So that was actually really cool by Ravensburger to do it. So but yeah, the rares are of course hard to find. It's like, oh, can anybody find this card, this rare card? Like, yeah, there's good luck. You're never gonna find it. So so it's funny, like it's funny for the rares I had to do, PPG was nearby. Like nearby,
buy some singles.
Yeah, just buy it for $1 so I can get the promo. It's also ironic too. It's PPG because like this with the whole event and that.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we could get into the pastimes versus PPG, debate. Did we miss them? But yes, very ironic that.
Yeah, it was very ironic too. So, but that was actually really cool. Because you had people working together too. It was also a pack addiction too. Just opening a pack so you get the cards. There was one list that had giant cobra in it, and of course that's and they also had bins at the Ravensburger booth where people could pick up singles, just basically loose bulk cards. But of course, you could just grab cards and just keep them. Of course, if probably anybody sees Cormo, they're like, oh, it's just bulk money or something like that. So it was Cobra and Penny were the two hardest cards to find for ones I had to do. So, but that was actually a lot of fun, and I think I spent a good amount of money to get the Stitch promo cards. I think I have way too many Stitch promo cards. So.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't think you can have enough Stitch promos.
Get a different set of cards that they needed to find.
Yeah, I mean they probably had a preset template of 5 or 6 different ones for each set, but yeah, it was really cool idea about Ravensburger. It's it got people into the game. Oh, look at these cool characters and that stuff.
No, it's a great activation that they've been doing because they do it at the parks with their adventures they've done at the DLCs. It's just another way to spend money on Lorcana. But as you said, Ben, you're interacting with the community. You're like, oh, do you have the card that I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Or if you're brand new to the game, it's just a fun way to get some cards and maybe get a promo out of it.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. So, and yeah, the Level Up Expo was really, really cool. Yeah, unfortunately for that, I couldn't say hi to Matt Mercer and Marisha Ray. So, yeah, they were kind of busy. So, but
next time.
Yeah.
Well, that I think is a nice cap on set 11. We did have some set champs this week. We got to shout out Danny for winning a set champ, Matt. Wrapping up set 11. But the meme, which I always go back to in the game of Lorcana, is we're so focused on what comes next, and what comes next is right around the corner, and that's set 12. So we've had all the cards revealed, right? There isn't anything that's hidden.
So, yeah.
I think everything's revealed now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that tells you I have not looked at every card yet, gone through to see, but people have been playing it online, talking about what's happening. So let's just open the discussion up now to what's happening in set 12. Where do we see it going? What are we excited about? Marquis, let's start with you on this one.
So what I've been seeing, a lot of people, this is not my personal opinion, but a lot of people are very excited about the toys, whether they're the green toys or the red toys or the amber toys, which I think that the current sentiment is that it seems pretty broken. Jessie seems really strong. The Shift to Woody seems really strong. So it seems like it's going to be the new aggro threat, probably post rotation. I think dogs is forever going to be that threat up until then. But those cards are really cool. I tried some of the Ruby toys that have their own abilities for when they're banished. They have on banish effects, which is nice. Even cards in the hand has one of the toys, one of the frogs. It's it's a 2-drop inkable, and if a toy is banished during your turn, you can play this card for 2 less ink. So you're essentially just playing a card for free after banishing a toy. And there's some synergies there with Sid, because Sid, the 6-drop legendary uninkable, when he comes down, you banish one of your toys, and your opponent chooses one of their characters to banish. And then when a toy is banished, you gain 2 lore. And that has some cool synergies. I personally haven't been able to work with that, but I played against an Amber Ruby player who loaded their board up with toys and played Raging Storm and got a bunch of lore, and that's how they closed the game out against me.
Oh, God.
So that's something that people are messing around with. I've been playing green-blue mostly, very similar to Ben. I've had a lot of fun playing with the new Milo, 7-drop inkable, quest for 3 with ward. And his ability is when he comes down, you can discard a card from your hand to bounce any card back to their hand. So kind of like the 7-drop Basil, but the cost is discarding a card, which on paper reads like a worse Basil. But his second ability is when 2 or more cards are sent to your discard that turn, you draw a card. So the first ability is a May, so you don't even need to trigger it if you don't want to. But if you're I can discard a card and then play Visions as well, and then he's replacing himself. And this is a persistent static ability, so you get 2 down on the board. You play develop in visions or let it go, like 2 actions, you're drawing, 2 cards a turn. Well, 2 more cards a turn if he's on the board. And been having a lot of fun with him. So that's been like some of my early tests, and I tried a lot of bad things that have not been working out. But green blue has been very fun for me lately.
I've not done like really any constructed play with the set. Been doing a lot of the pack rush, just because it's a lot shorter and I haven't had a lot of time. But it's been a good way to like introduce myself to some of the cards and see, okay, what is this card going to be like when we actually start playing with it? Ben, have you played much yet with set 12, or have you been so focused on set 11?
Well,
because of the
yeah,
CCQ?
with like the CCQ coming up, like I just played it. It was a lot of like focusing still on set 11, but I have like dabbled into like more Infinity style, because I feel like with set 12, with the way the tournaments have worked out, like people are probably going to be focused more on the Infinity format right now, and like probably so you guys mentioned what, but probably I'm trying to think of here, probably the free cards that I think like people have been talking about a lot. The Ruby Hercules with the OKT combo. I think like people were like really hyping about that.
Yes.
So I think that's the one. Second, probably the Merida, and even in core, that card is just like for say like you could add extra 2, so like you could sing like a Thunderbolt and deal 6, which could take out pretty much most characters. Like that's like ridiculous.
Yeah, Merida's got a spot in my Steel Song deck now. Probably I have to get into playing around with these set 12 cards.
Yeah, what this free hours is basically like, what free hours, you deal 1 damage to every character. The action I'm talking about.
I'm gonna butcher the ability off the top of my head without looking at the card. The 3 arrows.
Oh, you deal 2 damage to a character, then 1 damage to another character, or something like that.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Great, especially against my deck, because like that's why I don't like playing against Angel in green blue, because like Angel just like ping ping. So you just do that effect without discarding a card, which is like I think.
Right. And on play she gets it back, which is really nice.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So
there's 2 cards. What's the 3rd card?
I think this is more for Infinity format, because I don't know about core how well it would be, but the Lenny card, the free drop Lenny, basically it's like a big Ursula. It's like additional Ursula. I think you discard like a non-character of your choice, right? Correct?
Yeah, they discard an action of your choice.
Yes.
So it doesn't hit the items. So
it's actually okay, but still, like in Infinity format, you can remove Brawl possibly to like any action too.
Well, and songs are actions, so all songs.
And then I think when you play it in action, you can rate a character too.
Yep.
So people have been hyping up Lenny to a lot for like green steel, whatever discard list you have. So yeah, I've like probably the Hercules and the Lenny are probably the ones more focused for Infinity, but Merida probably is like the one card I think like of course like people have been like all over, like this is probably the most goated card in the new set. So
what's really cool about the Hercules is that if I'm remembering correctly, it's any card from the discard, which is like really strong. It's not just an action or just a character. He's bringing back anything on play, but the cost is you have to discard your hand, and with Ruby, their hand's not that big these days. Maybe in Infinity.
With green red, you just basically just like you just empty out your hand and just
specifically for the combo, because you're just trying to look for the infinite loop.
Hercules is also just good just to bring back up like an action too. So like with like Maui Shark, you just like bring back an action, just do whatever you want with it. So
for sure, especially with the cards that there's a lot of cards that set that reads if you put X number of cards in your discard this turn, you like unlock this new ability. So having something like Hercules discard the last 2 cards in your hand just so you can activate some other ability is like.
Well, Leviathan probably one thing that would come to mind in terms of like
Yes, exactly. The Leviathan. The 10-drop one-sided board wipe that I misread. But I was like, wait, this card is a little too good. Yeah. But I tried playing with that as well, and that's when I realized I couldn't read, because I was like, why can't I click all the characters? But for people who don't know, it's a 10-drop
Uninkable.
Uninkable. I forget its stats. It's big.
A 10-10 or an 8-8, something like that?
10-10, I think, yeah.
Yeah, 10-10 wins. 10-10. It reads, if you discard 2 cards a turn, or not discard, if 2 cards were sent to your discard this turn, you may banish all opposing characters whose strength totals up to 10. And, you just banish all of them. And it combos well with the, someone will have their head or something like that, the new song that is like heads held high.
Someone lose their head.
Yeah, someone lose their head, so then you give -2 across the board.
Yeah, that card... Like, people, like, really hyping it for green-blue. I don't know how that would really fit, because, like, you still have to remove, like, one of your critical cards. In that, so, I mean, it does activate, honestly, better, I guess, for the other decks, too. But, yeah, I mean, that card's also pretty good, too. It's just, like, I wonder how's that, for, like, a green-blue player, I wonder how's that fit in, like, an Undersea combo, too, because, like, it hits 4, but like we talked about before, it doesn't really hit the Mona and like the other big characters too. So,
yeah. I don't see it replacing like Prince Philip combo. Like Prince Philip combo seems like way more consistent and significantly more efficient. But it does help, I guess, like lower, like get rid of Little Prince Philip because it gives the -2 across the board.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's, I don't know. I don't see. Maybe there's a better spot for it in red blue where you're trying to where you're playing like Headless Horseman to like banish things on play and things like that. But I don't know if it's like strong enough to replace something in green blue currently. Post rotation, sure.
That's my initial reaction to it. Is I think it feels better in Sapphire than Emerald, only because, or with Ruby as the pair than Emerald, only because you already have so many pieces, to Ben's point, in the Emerald deck, but Ruby is still like this untested playing field right now. Like, find me a Ruby deck that's doing anything. There aren't any, right? Amber Ruby's done something.
Luke.
Amethyst Ruby, he's really trying, but not Sapphire. We have not
Sapphire.
seen, since rotation, that archetype kind of fell out of the meta, and painfully so. Unfortunately for Ruby, with this new set, a lot of uninkables. That seems to be Ruby's worst problem, is every good card it gets is an uninkable. Yep. But perhaps this card, someone will lose their head, will be a card that allows it to do more things with it because it pairs well.
That's still the problem.
One card that I know a lot of people, myself included, were hating when it was revealed, that I think, from my experience, seems to be pretty good in red blue, is the Kida, the shift Kida, that pretty much is a shift 6 on play. You and your opponent can choose up to 5 cards from your discard and put it into your inkwell, and then for 7 ink you can you pay 7 ink and you can do develop multiple times a turn. I've seen people, because there's a 2-drop Kida now and there's a 3-drop Kida, and then there's also the 4-drop Kida that, wow, you could just play all Kidas at this point. They shift and get a bunch of cards from their discard back into their inkwell, and now next turn they have enough ink to play a Leviathan, right? And that's after 1 Kida. They play the next Kida. I had an opponent get to 21 ink. So now seeing like what's possible, and I mean, this is early testing, so like take everything with a grain of salt. No one's found like the optimal decks, but I now reading that card, the 7 ink to do develop seems a lot more fair than like what I initially thought. At first I was like, this is awful, but when your opponent has 21 ink, they can develop 3 times, which seems like a lot. So any less than that, if it was 5 ink or 3 ink, like that card would just be broken, because now you're just drawing so many cards, which Ruby does need. Ruby Sapphire does need, but I think that card, people are working with it and like trying to find a spot for it, but it doesn't seem as bad as it initially did when it.
Well, I think like with ink cards, that would be kind of dope too.
Yep.
It's just basically like, because that's what I love about Moana in my green blue list, because like I could use it as a tool with Ink Geyser, and like if say like I need to have like bring a malicious back or bring a you're welcome back into my inkwell, so I could potentially use it again. Yep. Like over 4 times, which is probably why Moana is really good at green blue. That's actually really cool. So like that Kida could put all of those, so you don't have to make decisions with Moana. And with Ink Geyser, like you can have all the options you need. And also card draw too.
Yeah, and pairing that, I've seen people play with what is it, Mufasa, the 8-drop legendary. That
set 5 uninkable.
Set 5, yeah. Playing it with that, so you put 5 cards in Inkwell, you play him next turn, get 2 of those back, and you're still playing with like 16 ink. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
So.
It sounds like with set 12, whether we're going to be playing core constructed or infinity, it's giving us like a new set of tools to work with that we really haven't had before. Like, I guess this interaction of multiple, cards going to the discard, leaning more into the tribal elements of like toys and things like that, which we'll see what happens with toys. Maybe not so much in infinity, but I'm excited for it. Like, I think this will be a really fun time to play Lorcana.
I'll also say they really nailed the art. Especially with toy. They nailed the art pretty well. The Buzz iconic, they nailed that pretty damn well.
Well, so let's talk about the art then of set 12 before we go, too far places, because I think to Ben, absolutely, like the fact that it's an iconic too, and I don't want to know how much money that Buzz is going to be worth ultimately, but damn, do I want that Buzz Lightyear?
It's pretty, and I think they've nailed the art too for the set chance for once.
Oh my goodness, yes. The Woody is beautiful. Beautiful Woody.
This is a family-friendly podcast, and that is Woody from Toy Story.
Yes, Andy's favorite toy. The card is beautiful.
Doesn't help when we phrase it that way in the Marquis, but you know what? We're moving on from this point. We like the artwork in. Oh my goodness, yeah, set 12. Okay.
I was gonna say also, the early impressions is that it's also a playable card. I feel like that has not been the case for the last few set champ promos. So this one has like a really nice art, and it may be playable as well, which is really nice.
Well, and despite that, I think the playability piece is so important to make cards actually, one, be valuable in the game, but also for the collectors. Toy Story is the Pixar movie. It's like the first Pixar movie. That is my fellow millennial, Danny, right? That is what we've talked about this. His Woody costume. Again, family-friendly show. Buzz Lightyear was like my big character. So I think from a collectability standpoint, too, there's some value in the set champs because people are going to want that Woody card to go with their Buzz Lightyear card to get their Toy Story collection.
Also the mat.
The mat.
I think this is going to be a sweaty set champ season, similar to how Fabled was. I think Maleficent was the best set champs mat up until the Woody mat. So I'm excited for that as well.
The set champ season is going to be interesting, though, because, like, especially for me, especially with we got the Oakville CCQ coming up in late May and DLC Indy, it's going to be interesting how people are going to be prepared for, like, core constructed compared to Infinity. Because, like, there's going to be a lot more reps with Infinity. I feel like with core constructor, I don't think, especially for me, I won't be getting as much reps as I probably would usually have.
Well, and I think that's going to dictate what is kind of the core constructed meta, is because we won't have the top players playing core constructed because they don't care about set champs. They care about winning the events that you just said, Ben.
Yeah.
So as a top player in the room here, hearing him say, yeah, I'm not really thinking core constructed, I'm focused on infinity, this might be the set champs for people to really try something that you've been afraid to try, because the meta is not going to be tested. You're not going to be showing up with the player that, this is the deck that won the DLC last weekend, because there will be no DLC where that deck was run. So kind of an open field. So maybe not hyper competitive, but could allow more casual players who really want to, get that top 8 promo, or maybe sneak out a win that they haven't been able to do yet. So I think there's a silver lining to the downside of, the sweaties not being so heavily invested.
Yeah.
Call me sweaty now.
I think it's a room of sweaties.
Yeah, so. That's fair enough.
Well, before stepping too far away from set 12, because I want to bring up the hot take of the night. So Danny's hot take for set 12 is that Ward is back. Was it ever gone? Or is it's just now here fully present? Meaning that with all these cards that talk about choosing things and doing stuff to the board, if your cards say, no touchy, you can't choose me, well, that presents a problem. So, gentlemen, how do we feel about Ward in set 12?
I think Ward in general is like my favorite mechanic. I won set 9 set champs with the green steel Chromicon deck that consisted of a bunch of warded characters. 3-drop Prince Philip. We had Heathcliff. We had the 5-drop Goofy. And this was in a meta where Blurple was really popular. So, like, I wasn't afraid of an Elsa coming down, a Hades coming down. And the other Ben on the upside, I played him, and he said, I think you're going to do well because your deck just tells Blurple decks no. And I've been a big fan of Ward since then, but when you have board wipes now, right, Ward becomes a lot less effective. And because cards are also, except Scuttle. Scuttle's a very good card, but I feel like their stats are not really as good on rate because they have Ward. And sometimes if you're playing a player that has a board wipe, they don't even care about what your card's doing. You're probably questing for one or something, and then they wipe the board, and you're like, well, there that goes. Like, when you're playing a Ward deck, I don't know what else you're setting up for. You're just kind of trying to do things and not get touched. So, well,
we could probably do some theory crafting with it right now. Danny mentioned how the Princess combo with the Aurora 1-drop who reduces the cost, so you're able to shift the Aurora on turn 2 that gives your characters ward. And now you're playing with a 5-drop character that has the ability to sing things like Let It Go. You can start to ramp yourself now to get to a point where you can play bigger things like wiping the board before your opponent gets to, wipe the board on you. So there are things that you could probably do within that space to take advantage of it.
Shift on patch to Thunderbolt. Turn 4, play Dale. Thunderbolt attacks for 7.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the Dale as the other chipmunk in the room to bring up as a potential card, but I think pairs nicely with this, to your point, Marquis, of normally the warded characters aren't well statted. Low strength, maybe high willpower, or the opposite. I've seen cards that have the Darkwing Duck is the 4 strength, 1 willpower, so it goes, either side. But in many cases, you probably like to see that additional willpower. And when you've got cards that give other cards, more willpower, and that becomes your strength, there's probably a lot to play off that. So whether it's the puppies version, a princess version, there's probably some version of Amber Sapphire that really plays off of this.
Savvy Sailor, right? She becomes a 4, pretty much during a challenge, a 4/4.
Yeah, me and Luke were actually talking about what cards that for set 12, what cards that we could give War, because say the Emerald Goofy, I think for set 10 or set 11, that could give our cards War. And I forgot to mention Dale about a point set 12 card. That's gonna be a pretty good card as well. So the Dale that gives our characters when during challenge, their attack is similar to the willpower, and that. We forgot to mention how that can make Elsa 5/5. That's actually kind of ridiculous. so we were talking about how we could potentially protect those cards too, because War is probably the most OP attribute in this game. You could, it's so hard to deal with a character that has Ward, except for me, when Mission Me is scary, but yeah, I think you're talking about more to trying to protect the other characters, the new characters they're coming to set, like Dale, or really preventing Merida from doing their effects with the strength of that stuff too. So I do think towards War coming back, it's still a great attribute. I'm actually kind of surprised more characters with Ward are not being played in the core constructed meta. It's really just Prince Philip, and that's really it, right? Scuttle, but very rarely.
Yeah, it's in a niche, I would say, Sapphire position where it's not being played in all the Sapphire decks.
So because I could harken back to before rotation meta,
Prince John.
Yeah, Prince John.
But Muses, oh my.
Muses too, also we have Gravity Swords to get over the war part too. So also Bucky, RP Bucky, by the way. So, but yeah, no, I think for me, just especially going back to Merida, being able to choose a character to deal damage to, you kind of want to prevent that in a sense too. So,
yeah, I think that's one big reason that Ward is like very potent, is because there isn't a lot of counter, like to your point, counterplays like a board wipe, or you need something that makes your opponent choose their own character, and there just isn't a lot of that yet.
Yeah.
Some reason they printed more anti-location stuff than they have more anti-ward stuff lately. But
Sorry, Marquis.
no, I mean, but in a similar point though, that's why I played location. Locations pretty much have ward because you can't strength them, you can't Hades them. They have ward in the sense that those cards can't target them. So I think that those characters become kind of as strong and maybe even stronger than locations because there's not a lot of play.
Going off low to him, man, how would you feel if like a character just used like put location to the inkwell? Like,
Hideaway.
Hideaway, that was a thing, yes.
Yes. Yeah, I mean it's rough. There's like banish all location. I'm playing some anti-location tech. The new set 12 card Sabotage. It's a 3-drop inkable. You can play it, banish an item or location, and then you banish all items and locations with the same name. There's Freeze Divine, the location board wipe that also draws you 2 cards. So, but back to Ward, like those things don't exist. You have to like get really creative and kind of like build combos to like beat Ward, and these combos could be a Heads Held High, Under the Sea, or Prince Philip combo. You need like 3 cards to like get rid of one board.
So that's why I felt like Ward wasn't prevailing, because like with Prince Philip, it just bypasses it pretty much. Like the only card that could like not be too effective with MMS is the 2-drop Lilo, the uninkable one that came out the set. So, but yeah, I feel like that's why for what I think, like Ward's not prevailing, because like you just have like combos and action like that just doesn't care about it. Like you just do it and just get away. So, but
well, I think that's what makes Ward a balanced ability in the game. The fact that it is so powerful, and there's a way around it, and that those workarounds happen to be some of the more popular cards in the game. Any board wipe is going to be popular in a TCG, but in Lorcana, it's for the specific meta decks. Your Emerald decks, Ben, that you've been playing. We've talked about the Raging Storm. We might see something. Well, Leviathan's technically not a board wipe in this case because you have to choose the character, so that doesn't work with Ward. But yeah, I think this is definitely a interesting world to see how Ward gets played, but it's balanced. It's not overly powerful.
I think, and there's the new Encanto song, the 8-drop song. I think your opponent chooses 3 of their characters. One goes to the hand, one goes to the deck, and then another. It's called Family Scattered.
Yeah, it does 3 things.
Yeah, and but I think your opponent chooses their characters.
Mm-hmm.
So like there are cards, but this is like what, an 8-drop uninkable card. So it's like kind of tricky, you know.
And what's its color?
It's green.
Green, so it doesn't really fit with, maybe post this next rotation there will be something that will come up, but no, most of your deck, Ben, is still like a viable, minus we lose Sail, we lose Tipo, the ramp. Vision, that's a big part of it.
I mean, we also lose Clarabelle too. So.
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay, here I'm thinking like, there's a lot left. No, we just keep...
You get Milo.
Sniping
he
cards.
Has Ward.
We'll see. Do I get to draw a lot of cards?
Well,
2 of them.
Why don't you tell us, listeners, how are you going to use Ward in set 12 to beat the meta and show up and win a set champ? So I think there's a lot to be there.
Yeah, and I think one thing that Danny brought up that we didn't even mention in this conversation yet is other cards cards like Scrooge that are giving characters Ward, give you a whole board Ward. There's the new 5-drop song that is kind of like How Far I'll Go, but when a character sings it, your whole board gets Ward as well. So like we may not have to put in slot in these warded characters that may be understated, but we can play cards like Scrooge and cards like that song whose name I can't remember to give all your characters Ward.
Someone lose your head.
No, the Ward song.
Oh, the Ward
I
song.
think it's like What Would I Do Now or something like that.
Oh, my bad.
What franchise is it from?
It's an Encanto song as well. It's Isabella singing it.
And it tells, and I should watch more Encanto, I think.
How Far I'll Go, plus give your board Ward, which is really nice. So being able to just play cards on rate and give them Ward, or like if you, I guess you wouldn't really need to. I was gonna say if you like ramp and like Amber Sapphire, you get a Prince Naveen out on that turn 3. You play him, you can sing that song, but Oh no, he doesn't sing the song. Actually, he plays it for free. So
Plays it for free,
So
yeah.
it only triggers when you exert to sing. So never mind, that doesn't work. But it's still nice to just play it. Just have a character sing with a wide board, like maybe even Blurple. Maybe instead of playing Scrooge, because maybe you don't want to play Scrooge, you can just have Elsa sing the song, give everybody ward. Elsa now has ward and evasive, you know.
And this is Blurple, right? 'Cause
Yes,
it's
yeah,
Sapphire.
the song is Sapphire.
Sapphire. I was trying to figure out, okay, and how are we fitting Dale in this deck too now to make it the 5/5 with ward? But no, unfortunately.
I mean, there's the new Isabella Madrigal 3-drop Inkable Singer 5. So Singer 5 is back. Not that it was the other card from Jungle Book, but you have that on 3. You play Dale on 4. She can sing, give Dale ward, you know, and then you can start playing more things after that.
I agree with something. So yeah, but I do think like A-Man with Dale that's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah.
With the Dale, that's gonna be Dale Elsa 5/5.
Dale with Mulan, Elite Archer,
Oh my god.
swinging
Oh,
6 damage.
and being 6/6, dang.
Yeah, 6/6, and this is a deck that plays Aku. This is a deck that plays Grandmother Willow.
Well, no, Mulan's a Ruby card.
Okay.
Yeah, so but Dale is Amber.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Amber Ruby.
Amber.
Amber
I'm Ruby,
Ruby.
so okay.
Elite Archer comes down early, is swinging for 6. You don't even need the shift. Why would you even shift? You get less.
Yeah, I was.
less strength.
You don't. Well, because you want to challenge with her that turn, right?
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's why you would shift. But okay, next turn, if you have Dale out, she's still swinging for 6. So
Yeah, that you wouldn't even need to play the 1-drop. Danny and I were talking about this a couple weeks ago, where if the 1-drop Mulan is you're telegraphing the shift. Now you can like cut the 1-drop Mulan, because if Dale's on the board and Mulan's on the board, you can just find a way to give Mulan rush as well, or like make sure your Dale survives and Mulan swings for 6. You know.
well, in Ruby, there are several options to give a character, rush when it's first comes out. So I think that's not an issue for that deck.
So we kind of got away from the ward. I was talking about protecting Dale. I was talking about what he could boost.
We could have just had this whole segment be Let's Theorycraft on set 12, because we've got one of the master chefs of Central New York here for deck building.
Card behind you, Baymax. He becomes a 6/2 with a 6/2 with Dale on the board as well. And this is a color where he could get ward.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dale's going to be rough in set 12. Well, I think that's a pretty good discussion on set 12, gentlemen. Any final thoughts?
I like what they're doing with the Madrigals. They're becoming like a heal burn type of deck. I don't know what they were doing before because it wasn't working. But there's the new Madrigal location that's like the new McDuck Manor everybody's excited about. It heals the character there and heals the location, which is
that's actually pretty nice.
And then all of the healing damage and moving damage and then gaining lore. It's like Grandpappy plus at this point. So I'm excited to see hopefully some Madrigals find a spot in the meta, even if it's just the location.
And again, a fun new thing added to the game. We've always had healing in Lorcana of removing damage. You've gotten to draw off of getting, there was Grandpappy, right? You gained lore, but this is really leaning into it to incentivize you to set up things for damage to move. And I forget, there's a song that moves all the damage to a character, I think, or an action.
Can't hold it back anymore. It's a 4-drop uninkable purple amethyst song. It exerts a character, moves all damage counters from all over the board to that specific character.
We also have Ohana too for moving damage.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
So we can have some shenanigans. What about you, Ben? What are your kind of
I'm
final
excited
thoughts on
that
12?
Toy Story is finally here. That's probably the big thing. I'm happy they made Pizza Planet location.
Yes. Oh my God. That if they didn't do that, that would have been a big disappointment, I think, on Ravensburger's part.
Finally took advantage of opportunity. I'll say Ravensburger, so especially that. So I was really excited that there's a lot more excitement, I feel like, with this new set coming out with Toy Story coming in, Pixar coming in, Incredibles. So there's a lot of excitement coming set, but also a lot of unknowns because we literally have 2 different formats we're working towards too. And I think when people are going to focus on the Infinity format, we're going to do it that. That's probably what I thought about the Lenny and the Hercules at first, but then we forgot to mention about how is Dale Merida go define this. I guess this meta. Those are probably the two cards I think will be defined the meta. But who knows? It's already on. So
Yeah.
Maybe going back to green steel for Infinity.
That'll be one of the decks. Okay. To figure out. I mean, everybody's saying Steel Song is like OP in Infinity, but I don't know.
I want to see some of these lists. That's what, let me see what people are cooking up, to see really what's out there, because it hasn't been tested in any meaningful way. I don't buy the side event day 2 stuff as like an indicator, because yes, like Fungus played in I think the Brazil one, and I think won. Did he come in first in Infinity? Can't remember. We could look it up and fact check. But just the point being is it hasn't been tested in the same way that Core has. So I'm very skeptical when people say like, this is the deck.
I will say one card in Infinity that it probably should have more appearances like in Core decks, but it's finally going to be the free drop Max Goof. Where you can pay 1 to bring back a song. I think that's finally because also that kind of prevents like say like in his Green Steel Mirror match, if you get one song ripped off, now you can play Max Goof to like bring it back.
Yep.
And there's the loop with that song that stops your opponents from playing actions and items and the muses. No, there's the song. There's the song, the 2-drop song.
Oh, you keep the HMA.
Yeah, there's the loop with Max Goof and muses in that song. You pretty much sing the song with Max Goof. Your opponent can't play actions or items next turn. Muses trigger, bounce Max Goof back to hand. Next turn you play Max Goof, and you kind of cycle.
Could do it again, or
forever.
Forever.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
A lot of cool things coming.
Yeah.
Oh well, can't wait to see that and more. Gentlemen, great podcast, I think. Well done on your first appearance on the show. Hopefully we have you back again to chat more Lorcana. But follow us on all of our socials, like, subscribe, do the things, and happy questing, folks.
Happy questing.
Shuffle better.
Shuffle, I like that as a phrase.